All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Chronicles of a Virgo Podcast. And as usual, I'm your favorite Virgo host, Shakita Johnson. And today, I wish I had a drum roll for this introduction. I have not one, but two lovely ladies with me today, and we're going to get into some things. So, with me today, y'all, I have Miss Nikki and Miss Angel, aka Kickin from Kickin It With Your Girlz Podcast. How are you ladies doing today?
I'm doing good.
Doing well.
Thank you, ladies, for joining me for this conversation. I feel like this is gonna be a little fun, we're gonna be a little entertaining. But as usual, we're gonna get into some things. So before we start, I do like to continue my mental health checks. Where we rate our mental health scale of 1 to 5. So, Angel, if you can rate your mental health today, right now, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being you're in a good space, 1 being not feeling the best, but I got some room for some porn, but I'm managing okay. What would you say?
In this moment, I'm at a 4. We'll go with 4.
We taking it on a 4. What about you, Miss Nikki?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm gonna go with a 5. I'm pretty good right now.
We
cannot complain.
All right. So I'm gonna say I'm at a 4 today as well. What can I say? It's Friday Eve,
Exactly.
Tomorrow I'll be at a 5. Tomorrow's a 5 for sure.
Yes. So I'm gonna give it a 5 tomorrow, but right now I'm gonna stick to a 4. I'm a little tired. It's been a long week, but I'm grateful, and we made it. So we almost there. So again, I do these mental health checks as a way to not only continue to hold myself accountable for checking in with myself, but to hold everyone else accountable about checking in with yourselves to make sure you're okay. And if something is wrong, try to get down to the bottom of what is causing the discomfort, what's going on in this brain of mine, what areas in my life do I need some more porn, or my favorite, who do I got cut off today?
That part right there.
Absolutely.
So
continue
to take care of yourselves and each other's. So, as I said, me and my ladies, we're gonna get into some things today. So we are going to speak around the topic of releasing the baggage, right?
Yep, gotta get rid of those bags, man.
Got to.
Well, we're going to do this a little fun way. We're going to do this in counterparts of breaking down the lyrics to the one and only Miss Erykah Badu's Bag Lady song. Because I can't remember when this song came out, but I really don't think I knew what it actually meant.
I know I didn't know. And I was singing all the lyrics. Didn't know.
All the lyrics.
Yes, and I feel like it took, oh my gosh, into my adult years, maybe not, like maybe up until a couple years ago, where I really was like, oh my goodness, like, and when I tell you I be bopping this song is on every playlist, okay? And I listen to it all the time because it resonates so well with a lot of things. So, like I said, we're going to be speaking on the topic of releasing the baggage, and we're going to break down these lyrics, not the whole song, just certain things that stood out. And then we just want to have a mild discussion about releasing the baggage and, moving forward. All right, y'all.
Let's get it.
All right, yeah.
All right, so let's start with the beginning. All right, let's go. Bag lady, you gonna hurt your back, dragging all them bags like that. I guess nobody ever told you all you must hold on to is you, is you, is you.
That's deep. Like, like when it like we said a few moments ago when we first listened to it, it was just like the jam, the beat, you was vibing out. But when you listen to those words, it's like, yeah, you do got to release some of that stuff because you pulling everybody along with you. How you ever gonna be okay?
Exactly. That stuff get heavy. You don't need to carry all of this heavy. Put it down.
Yes, literally, I'm not gonna lie. Initially, I thought this meant like a person carrying a whole bunch of bags. But
we probably all did if we thought about it.
But it makes so much sense. So to me, it resonates in regards to you gonna hurt your back carrying a whole bunch of baggage that belongs to you, whether it's you or someone else. Then she goes on to say, all you must hold on to is you.
Yep.
That's all you're responsible for.
Then she goes on to say, one day all them bags gonna get in your way.
That's facts. Because like if you try to move into any relationship, friendship with pre-existing issues, or we'll say pre-existing bags to stay on topic, it's not gonna it ain't gonna never work out. You never gonna find somebody better if you still comparing that new person to the old person.
Yep. That's where the problem comes in. When you start comparing, they're never gonna level up. Not gonna reach the top.
Yeah, not only that. So not only like always like dealing with people, I think about it like you can think about it like dealing with work too, right? You may leave a job or you may get let go from somewhere that you really enjoy being at, and then you get another job and it's not the best, but you can't be successful or happy in the position that you're in because you're too busy, still holding on to what was when you were at another company or in another position, or like I was saying before we started, like I have a new boss right now and we're trying to be like, all right, are you like the last one? Or are you, what are you doing? You right on the fence, but you'll never really get to know a person in general, or like get to know where your true happiness resides in a new environment if you don't release where you came from prior or the situations that went on prior in that relationship or that friendship or whatever the case may be. She moves into pack light. So to me, that means, I don't know, maybe this is a little contradicting, but it means like pack light means it's okay to hold on to some stuff, but not everything. But then it goes back to only person that matters is you, like only hold on to you. So it's like only hold on to you and what all of your baggage or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But make sure it's light, because, taking accountability from situations and encounters, we have to acknowledge the part that we play in any type of dynamics or relationship or whatever the case may be.
I can see that. Yeah.
I kind of think like when she's saying pack light, like, all baggage is not bad. Some baggage you need to learn the lesson from that baggage so you won't repeat it. So maybe that's what she mean by pack light, like take those life lessons out of that baggage, hold on to them, but don't take all of your baggage. Just keep the gems, as you should say.
That's
absolutely. Because how you gonna learn? You're gonna keep repeating the same mistakes if you don't learn from them. So if you don't take on something, you'll just keep repeating the cycle. So you don't want that.
True. And trust me, those same cycles will continue to come until you learn your lesson officially.
Exactly.
All right. So then she says, girl, I know sometimes it's hard and we can't let go. When someone hurts you oh so bad inside, you can't deny it. You can't stop crying. Okay.
That's
so
facts.
All this is big old fact. But like the first part, like it's hard. Like we can acknowledge that like releasing anything that doesn't serve us anymore, whether it's a person, place, job, whatever, it's hard to move past that, those obstacles, those experiences, those feelings that we once had. Like it's hard.
Yeah, I agree with you, because sometimes you're in conflict with yourself. So it's like you'll know that you should be past something, but when it comes back up, you like, oh nah, now you're going back down the rabbit hole, reliving the story. But it's only because you just don't want to. It's hard to walk away completely from a situation. You literally have to be like, I'm moving on, I'm done with this, and actually do it, which is hard.
Yeah. Because you could think, and especially like if it's a job or a person or something like that, you can say they can always, oh, we're gonna change, we're gonna do this, and so you stay, and then you're like, okay, I should have left when I said, because it didn't get better, or it only got better for a short time, so now I'm still in that situation when you could have been out of it.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes reminiscing on the things that once felt good and gave us good feelings, like we want to stay, indulged in those moments, even though it's over, like we want to hold on to how those things feel, because at the time of when those things were going on, they meant something to us. And releasing that, I think for a lot of people, they think that it releases them from the experience of that person or whatever it is, but it really doesn't. It just releases the feelings, the weight of it, so you can move on and you won't be stuck in that spot. Right.
Yep,
Right.
that makes sense. It's like, it's like toxic energy. We sometimes stay in toxic energy because we don't know it's toxic, it's familiar, it's comfortable. We may even know like we need to move past it, but yet we still find ourselves in it. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like toxic energy. It's just like you have to force yourself to say, yo, I'm done with this. Gotta leave it, let dead that and move on. And it's hard because one little thing can happen and it'll bring you all the way back to, man, you know what old girl did to me? You ain't gonna believe this. And there your friends looking at you like, we didn't heard this story about 15, 11 times, sweetheart. Let's fall back. Let's get a new story. Like, come on, sis.
Yes, because the cycle just continues to repeat itself.
Yep.
Like, and okay, so when someone hurts you so bad, okay, you can't deny it, you can't stop crying. If you start breathing, you won't believe it. You feel so much better, baby. You feel so much better. That's interesting. That's the truth though. I think for me, that means like when you're in that space where it hurts so much, right? Because that's how she started it off, and you feel like you can't let go of that. If you start breathing, right, and releasing, because when you inhale, you exhale, you release,
Yeah,
Right.
you'll feel better. And to me, I'm thinking of like having like one of them good hard cries.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's like having one of those good hard cries and you taking your deep breaths and stuff. For some of us, hyperventilating, depending on how over dramatic you can be. But once you like fully like let it out, it feels better. You feel better, even though at the time it may not feel like it. But to me, that's progress. Like it's progress.
Right.
I agree with that because like once you get that good cry out, like you said, or once you get out that anger or whatever it is that's going on, and then when you're done, it's like your mind is clear. And it's like, so why was I tripping for real? Like this wasn't even that what it was, because you let all those emotions out, all that negative energy out. So now it's only positive left. At least that's how I look at it.
Or at least that's the hope. Like you
That's
get
the
it all
hope.
out. Right. Till it's
Yeah.
only positive left.
Go to a rage room.
Listen, I always say let it out the best way. Sometimes the best way to let it out, is with aggression, because you feel a lot better, because depending on who you are, if you're an aggressive person or if you're that type of person that like to get your lick back and you feel like you gotta put your hands on people, sometimes like the rage rooms or like boxing gyms and stuff could be beneficial for a person, or going to the gym, because you're letting all them endorphins, all that energy and stuff out and let it circulate. You don't gotta always hit people.
Right.
And I get it.
Yeah.
People be taking you there. I get it. And let's see. Okay, we're going to end with this one. Girl, you don't need that. Let it go, let it go, let it go.
She preaching now. Preaching to you, girl. Let it go.
Yes. And it's funny because I think about like situations I've been in, whether it was like breakups or friendships ending or just something. And I felt like I could not let it go. And I feel like a lot of times when people come to us and they telling us things that are going on, the initial thing for some people, depending on the circumstance, you may be like, girl, just let that go. But for some, it's just not that easy. It's so much easier to say, let it go. And it's like, okay, but what does that actually look like? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does letting these feelings and things really go? Because if in this moment I choose to put it behind me and block out all the thoughts and feelings, 9 out of 10, tomorrow I'm still gonna wake up feeling the same way. Like,
right.
Nope. Let it go. Go. I used to didn't know you. That's my attitude. You can always go there.
I feel like you got to acknowledge it though. Like,
yeah, you definitely
within yourself, like you got to acknowledge what happened, and you also got to be fair with yourself and say that you can't control other people's reactions, emotions, or anything towards you. And when you come to that realization, then it's just kind of like, yo, I'm tripping for real because I'm letting you get this rent-free space in my brain, and you probably don't even care what's going on with me.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it's, I think a big aspect of it all within releasing anything is about like the whole forgiveness concept, right? And I know for some people it's like, oh, I'm not going to forgive this person because they did X, Y, and Z. They don't deserve it. They may not, right? But forgiveness is not for the person, those people. It's always for you, because the longer you hold on to those feelings and harness and all that energy, it's just going to continue to make you miserable.
Yep.
They out here running the streets, living their life,
yep.
and you home, depressed, crying. You feel like your life falling apart.
Yep.
You got to start somewhere.
Gotta let it go, like Elsa said. Isn't that the one that sings "Let It Go," Elsa?
Elsa or Anna, one of them.
Let it go. Whoever she is, let it go.
And you know what? Like, it's for me personally, like, and we're gonna get into it. Like, it's for real. It's because it's been a growth thing for me. Because like, if you would ask me any of these like points, literally probably a year and a half ago, maybe a year or two ago, my mindset was totally different, and I was all about getting my lick back, and like, you couldn't have one up on me, and I didn't know how to let it go, like let things go. Like, I really didn't. I didn't see the benefit in letting nothing go. Now, I'm not gonna say now like I do let things go, right? But I also believe that you should be able to sit in your feelings and feel how you're going to feel, and that's okay. But within sitting in those feelings, like, you can't stay there.
That's the part.
Yeah. And that's that thin line, because when you're feeling your feelings, you sometimes need somebody to pull you out. Like, okay, you feeling them, but let's move past them. Like, feel them, deal with them, acknowledge them, let them take this space today, but tomorrow, what we gonna do to change it?
Yes. Right. All right. So let's get down to it. Can you ladies think of a time in your life when something heavy was like weighing on you and it was holding you back, and you had to release whatever it was, or it, like a person, place, whatever? The time in your life when that, like, you felt like that?
I remember a time in my life, I had to be like in my 20s, when I realized that I was letting people take space in my life. Like, when I was holding on to it, and I came to the conclusion, like, I'm the only one mad. The person I'm mad at, they done went on with their life. They living their life. They laughing, having a good time. And I'm over here angry. And to the point where I was like, you know what? It's not worth it. Like, I'm stressing myself out. It's not worth it. You have to let it go and move on with your life. And that's how I changed my whole personality behind that, because it's not worth it. You getting sick, worried about them, and they moving on with their life. They ain't even thinking about you or what the situation was. May not even remember why you mad. So I remember that in my mid-20s, it had to be when I realized that.
I wasn't that mature in my 20s. I didn't realize it in my 30s, honey. I ain't gonna lie. I realized I had situations that I held on to because I just couldn't understand, why somebody could be the way that they are. So it took me a long time, like counseling and just being real with myself and being honest, like, just let this bitch go for real. Not so meet Nikki, that didn't, because she always be like, well, I didn't know you before. So that kind of is in my head, branded in my head. I ain't used to know you. I can go back to it.
Always, at any point.
But it took me longer to learn that lesson. And I think it's partially because at some point in my life, I was a people pleaser. I wanted everybody to like me and understand why they didn't. But now it's just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. And all that resonates with me too much. right? From the whole people pleasing to the sitting trying to figure out why this person did that, like, or more, not more so like why they did it. I think the why for me came at the end. It was, what did I do wrong? Because I could not have done anything wrong. You know, I'm a little perfect Kita. Like, I never mess up. You know, like, I'm a perfectionist, and this is how I used to think. Like, I was a perfectionist. Like, everything had to be right to the T. So if something went wrong, whether it was like, you know, breaking up a friendship, because breakups with friend and friend groups hurt just as much almost as a relationship with a person. Like, that crap hurts. And if a person say they, you know, no, it's not that hard for them, then I look at like the time and, you know, everything that was put in the friendships. You know what I'm saying? I think that also is a factor as well. But for me, I would like fault myself for everything that went on. And I would try to make some type of sense out of, well, maybe if I would have did this wouldn't happen. Or maybe if I would act like this or said this person would have stuck around. When in reality, if they've already had made up in their mind that they was leaving or doing whatever, they was going to do it. But see, with me, I feel like I was always forced to release things. You know, like, you would have those gut feelings where it's like, you know, you do not need to entertain this person.
Right.
Like, you know, this person ain't shit. Okay. Like, you know, they are for the streets and you're much better than that. But am I really better than it? Until like God just kept showing signs and signs and signs. And then that last sign that came, it was like, okay, yeah, this is it. Like, it's over. Like, I have to let it go. And I feel like those, like, being that way for so long, being forced into those situations, I was like, okay, I got some growing and some healing to really do, because I got to take my power back and stop allowing people to continue to get one up on me, because like, you ain't gonna get one up on me. you just not. But it's
that's
also
step one.
Like, yes, like, we cannot continue to have these cycles. But it's also about like knowing your worth and like knowing what you should be tolerating and entertaining, and like who should have access to you, and like knowing that your peace and your whole well-being is precious, and everybody don't deserve all those aspects. Even with having a job, I know people that's listening, and maybe or maybe not, I can't confirm or deny myself, we have been in jobs before where we know it's time to go, but
yes,
we're so comfortable and we're like, well, I don't know where I'm gonna go work at, I don't know what I'm gonna do, so we make excuses to stick in these uncomfortable situations that we know we shouldn't be tolerating, we know it's bad for us. And then what's going to happen? We're going to be forced somehow out of those situations because we didn't make the decision ourselves.
Sometimes it's the unknown, you know, you're comfortable in what you're doing. You don't know what's going to happen next. So because you don't know, it's kind of like, I'm going to just chill and fall back and wait it out. But sometimes that's normally when guys start closing them doors and pushing you forward. And then it's like, oh, I guess I should have moved.
Right. Guess I'm moving now.
My bad on that.
Yes. I'd be like, hold on, God, wait a second. What just happened? So like, because for me, like, I'm so structured, like, I need a warning sign. Like, and then the thing is, like, he'll give them, but we just continue to play
Ignore them.
Like, well, dang, you know, back at square one. But yeah, consequences of holding on to things that no longer serve us. So like, for me personally, like, I always think about like the mental and the physical aspect of like your body. I feel like just because like through my therapy and just my own healing journey, I've learned the impact that, more specifically like trauma, because some people have traumatic breakups and they hold on to all that weight and just negative toxic energy, all that stuff. I learned about the impact that it has onto your immune system. Like, you know, people out here wondering why they're getting sick all the time. Like me per se, I'm always, I'm not going to say it, I'm not going to claim that, but having health, you know, problems like back to back and things. And when you sit and you think about it, like they always say stress is like a deadly killer, you know? And I feel like holding on to like toxic things, people, whatever it is, can stress you out more than it can like hurt you, if that makes sense. and it just deteriorates your health.
Absolutely.
I agree. You know, I also think another consequence is you're not really living your life to the fullest because you're keeping yourself in this stagnant place because of what happened to you in the past, all these bads. So you'll never fully enjoy your own life until you let all that go and just not care for real and just do you and just, but you have to be confident in who you are.
And I feel like a lot of times, I don't know if you ladies ever felt like this, but I know more specifically my last relationship, once it was like officially over, because you know sometimes in relationships we go through these stages where we together but not really, or no, we still together, but then it's like, well, we
one person together but the other one not. Yeah.
Yes. So like after everything like was really over, it was a horrible breakup, but one thing that I realized is I didn't have no identity outside of my relationship to really know who I was after things happened. And it's crazy because I did not enter that relationship like that. Like I had so much wholesomeness and identity, and you know, I was outside, you know, traveling, doing things, hanging out, and I did those things in my relationship, but not as much as I did prior. So I lost myself in it. And then after everything happened, I had to try to figure out who Shakita was. And that was like really hard because I'm like, who am I? Like, what do I like? Because some of the stuff that I used to like, I don't like it anymore. And I feel like that is an ugly truth and something hard for people to really cope with after leaving behind things and people that don't serve them, is because they're put in a position where they have to figure out who they are outside of those dynamics, those walls or whatever. Who are you?
That's a hard thing because you know what? When you get in relationships, you put yourself, you go all in. That's the expectation. And sometimes when you can get lost in that person's thoughts, their dreams and all of that. So when it ends, it's like you just said, you got to find who you are. And that happens a lot to women because it's just like when it comes to like being a parent, you know, you have to learn how to be a mom, be a wife, but still be a friend and still be fair to yourself. It's something you have to learn how to navigate, and none of us know how to do it until you in it. And then you be real with yourself, like you said, whether it's counseling or talking to your pastor or whatever it is that you do. You have to learn how to schedule time for yourself, even if it starts with scheduling 30 minutes to yourself, because you'll lose yourself. Because whatever everybody else having going on, you're going to be, okay, well, I got to do this for that person. I got to make sure you reach what you got going on. Okay, cool. All right, I got to go over here and do this. Like, you lending out so much of yourself to everybody else. So what's going to be left for yourself? That's why you have to give yourself time, whatever that looks like. Reading a book outside, whatever you do.
Whatever your interests are.
Right.
Yeah, and you know, it's about like you said, it's about finding balance and what works for you. And the thing is, like, you know, I talk about hating social media so much.
Girl.
I'm on a cleanse right now. Like,
okay, I like it.
You know, it depends on when this episode come out, but like right now, in recording real time right now, I'm like partially on a cleanse. And it's not because I'm not blaming it all on social media. It's like me too. But part of it, I think when people are embarking on these journeys, and I talk about this so much because it's so frustrating sometimes, because I think this was me in the beginning of my journey. You see and you idolize other people that have healed from what you're going through, or they are in the midst of their journey and they're flourishing, and you want that. You want to feel or what it appears to be in a good space, but you really don't know, A, if that person is really there, B, what's going on in the other 20 something hours of the day, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Of their life, because you literally see a 60-second minute reel of a person's life and of what they want to show you, unless they're, you know, just very vulnerable and open and they share all parts of them, but more than likely they won't. But it's also about creating a foundation for yourself. Like, what does like your own journey look like? what type of things would you like to incorporate to help you through this stagnant or rough time? Like, it's like breaking those old cycles and patterns and creating something new, creating a more solid foundation for yourself. And like for me right now, oh child,
Not a who child, honey.
yes, oh child. You know, I keep saying every day, like where I'm at right now, I'm gonna write a book about just this particular part right now, but because it's uncomfortable, right? And I feel like personally, like that's when God will use you the most during those uncomfortable moments. But He had to make me uncomfortable so I could get out of the comfortability that I was in, and then so I could try to see more of what's ahead and what I need to do. Because as long as I was comfortable in that certain spot, I wasn't going to move forward.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so it's about, again, creating what dynamics or what does happiness look like for you? What does even releasing the baggage or the weight, like what does that look like for you? For some people, it could just be detoxing like your body and your mind. It may not be detoxing like people. You know, you may have a very solid support system, whatever. It just may be like getting your health together. Like, but overall, it should always be about yourself.
I agree.
Which moves me into the next point about the benefits of being able to just put yourself first. Like,
because now you didn't pass the who child over here, honey.
And didn't we talk about this last year?
We did.
We talked about this, and y'all was telling me I had to go take myself on a date.
Yes.
I have not done
Did you do
yet.
it?
I have not done it yet. It's coming to be continued. To be continued.
You gotta do it.
Within this whole dynamics of just releasing baggage, it's about you. So like, why is it important? And it doesn't matter what stage you're in right now, because we're all in different stages of this. Like, why is it important to put yourself first overall?
Because I feel like it's important to put yourself first, because you have to be a whole person before you can support any other person. So if you don't put yourself first and you don't make sure do like your mental checks like we did earlier, or like if you don't take time out for yourself, how are you going to be a benefit to someone else? Because if you're not whole, then you're going to let them lead you on this rabbit hole of their life, and you will never know what it is you want for your life. So you have to take time out for yourself, because you have to be comfortable with yourself, confident with yourself. You have to know yourself, because that way people won't run over you or just tell you whatever. Because if you're comfortable with who you are and you took the time out to spend time with you, you're going to be straight. Your life is going to be Gucci for real.
Yep. No matter what other people are saying, if you know who you are, you can say, okay, no, this doesn't apply to me, or I don't care about any of that. You know, I'm just going to focus on this, so that you can be able to walk away. So yeah, you definitely have to put yourself first.
Most definitely. And like I said before, I feel like that can look like anything. That can look different for a lot of us, because I know a lot of people that may be listening may have children. So as a parent, you feel like, oh no, I always put my kids before me, whatever. And I always think about like when you're flying on the airplane.
Yep.
And they're assigning like who's going to be the person that, if you sit here, you have to do this and all this stuff. And it's like, when you have if I'm not mistaken, mark me if I'm wrong, but I think I did hear this. If you have a kid, they tell you to like put the life jacket on yourself first before the child, right?
Yeah, because if you're drowning, who's going to save the child? So you have to be prepared first. You got to get you together first, and then focus on the people around you, your kids, your whoever else is with you. So yeah.
And go ahead.
Sorry.
As a mother, I have 3 boys,
hard.
And for the longest, I was just lost in what all 3 of them had going on, So I had to, I want to say, I don't know, about 3 years ago, what has been 4 years, I don't know, however long ago we created our friend group is when I start putting myself first. And then I felt more whole because it was like, okay, I'm doing whatever I need to do for me. Because it was times where I felt like, oh my God, they got this going on. I got this work obligation, like overwhelmed. So now, I'm just balancing it better. But you have to be your best self in order to be your best self for your children or anybody else.
Yes.
Most definitely. And I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and we were talking about like self-love and stuff. And he was saying how, like, of course we all know you can't pour from an empty cup, And I said, I like to think of it like you can't pour from a cracked cup, because if a cup is cracked, like anything that the foundation is cracked in, it's not going to be suitable to use. Like, for example, my glass, if there was a crack here, the water would be spewing out from wherever the crack was, right? So if I'm cracked in any type of way, everything is just, I'm never going to be able to experience overflow. I'm never going to be full enough to pour into somebody else, let alone pour back into myself, So, and that's not saying like, oh, you got to be 100% perfect. Like, absolutely not. None of us are perfect,
You'll never get there. Yeah.
Yeah. However, we should just be able to like know and that create those boundaries and that time with ourselves that we can be wholesome, be whole, be at peace. I'm not a parent, but like my mom, like I played ball coming up. So like it was the AAU every weekend, long practices during the week. My mom worked like 2 and 3 jobs and had my sister. So it was like back and forth, back and forth. And once I went to college, she still had another child to raise that was doing the same stuff that I was doing as far as sports. And then once my sister went to college, I feel like my mom, like, not to say she didn't have like a life outside of us, but it wasn't much. And I feel like now lately, the last couple of years or so, I've been seeing more women the ages of like 40 and over, or even 50 and over, that have they sent their kids off to college, or they're on their own now. They're like stepping into like their age and like really trying to find themselves and like redefine who they are, because they've lived so much through their children or their husbands or their jobs. And now it's just like, no, like I gotta live for me. Like I gotta put me up there,
It's funny that you say the crack cup, because you said that on our show, and I promise you I've been giving that advice to several people ever since you told me about it. So shout out to you for that, because every time I'm talking to somebody, I'll be like, you can't give in a crack cup, honey. Okay, gotta get your cup together. But it's so true. Like I can believe that your mother is like figuring out what she likes and what she want to do, because she spent a lot of time making sure y'all was good. Like I have my oldest son young, he's 20 now. So it's like I have to let him do his thing because I gotta do mine. You know what I mean? Like I grew up with him. Everything I did was for him. But with his brothers, it's more balanced. It's like they're getting a better version of me because I'm not trying to grind it out all the time, head down, work and make all this bread so I can make sure we good. It's a different mental space. It's like, okay, I can balance, and it's hard to figure that out sometimes. But like you said, you take time out and you just do it. You just go on that date, with yourself, no shade, but just saying, just go to that bar and you sit down.
Absolutely.
Listen,
You're lucky we not in the same state. You would have been on that date, girl. I would have been like, outside. I'm outside. You ready to go on this? Date yourself.
listen. You know what? For anybody that's listening to this, like, what the hell are they talking about? I'm going to link in the description and show notes the episode that of course, I'm going to have all their information where you can listen to their show, but I'm going to have specifically at the top the episode that I did with them on their lovely podcast. And, it was supposed to be a goal of me taking myself on this date, because no, I've never taken myself on a date before. And a lot of my friends do it, and people have been like, girl, you go ahead and do it. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. And still have not done it yet, but it's coming. Like, I know I said that last time.
We're going to start a campaign. It's going to be hashtag go on a self date, Shakita. That's what it's going to say. on the hashtag for you, honey. You gonna like it too. And then after you go the first time, you're gonna be like, oh, I got this. I mean, you meet people, you just doing you. You finding you.
That is true. And like my girl Erykah said in the song, all you need is you. You know,
That's it.
like literally, like we are the foundation for everything that comes to us, all the people that we attract in. And I know for some people, they may feel like, I didn't attract these bad relationships, or I didn't attract these negative people, but in reality, some parts of us did attract in those people. We attracted the continuation of having certain cycles and patterns that continue to happen over again,
You know what? Like broken people are attracted to light. So if you give out light, I mean, all people are attracted to light, but at the end of the day, in order for you to differentiate the two, you will have to be whole with yourself, because then you'll know what's BS and then what's not.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're such a person that gives off so much light, you'll get attention from both sides. You got people that's like, oh, I want to be like you, but it ain't in that way for real. It's like, I want to be like you, but I want to take over your life, not be like you and we hang out,
Right.
That's
but
how
you know what? Like I was talking to my friends recently, and it's kind of overwhelming in a sense, right? Because at the end of the day, you only can be you. I mean, you can be out here faking people and living double lives and all that. That's still you, but you only can be you. And sometimes I'm like, damn, like I really be like shaking my head at like the person that I am now, because I'm trying to tell y'all, like, sister girl, this is this is growth. But just having people like not necessarily attach themselves to me, but the light that you see is the light that I am. But then sometimes like I'm gonna be mean, but I'm like, nah, I can't be mean.
Don't work, do it.
That's not you.
Hasn't even worked yet.
It takes just as much energy as it takes to be angry. It takes that same to be like mean. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying I'm a bad person at all, but sometimes it just gets like very overwhelming, because you think, like they say that when you really start to do the work and you start healing all the things that you've been desiring and you've been wishing for, they start to really flow in. And one thing that I've always been a person that likes community of people, but I've attracted the wrong people in the past. So I'm like, God, listen, do not send me no more people that I gotta heal, fix, do any of that. Okay, like don't do it. And at the end of the day, like it's not up to us, but because sometimes people come in your life for a reason and season. Like I get that, but sometimes, like a person like me, I'm so empathic and I get so in tune with people, that to the point where I second guess myself, like, well, who really sent you? Like, why are you really here? How far do I really have to get in this type of dynamics with you? Like, I don't know. I live in my head a lot, and I think that's a problem too.
Well, we have a lot of similarities, because you like I lived in my head. I still live in my head. Nikki will tell you, I be in my head about stuff so much, and I'm not. But I've come a long way from how I was, and I understand. How everything you had to do, all the work you had to do to change, because it's hard, because you just out here being you, you know what I mean? And yeah, we don't want to detract no projects. Team no project.
No,
projects 2023.
No. The only project in 2023 is me. Like listen, God, we got an agreement right now.
Right.
And I remember us talking, I was like, when you were saying like, Nikki is that friend that like really keeps you in check. And I was like, it's always good to have people in your space that help hold you accountable, but not enable you, because they're two different things. And like, I was like, yes, we all need a Nikki. We all need a Nikki, because you don't want nobody that's going to just like play the 50 and tell you what you want to hear in moments that you don't want to hear that. Like, okay, I don't care how bad I'm crying and my lip is quivering. Like, I need you to just be real with me, because if not, then I may just, go out here and do something else.
Yeah, you need an honest friend, and you need somebody that you can hear it from. Like some people try to be honest and you don't take it the right way. You think they're being hurtful or trying to be mean to you, but you got to know your friends. Like, no, this person is telling me because they're trying to help me, not hurt me. So
You gotta have a full disclosure. Like, yo, are you one of them friends that keep it real? Or are you one of
yeah.
them friends that tell me what I want to hear?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we don't need none of them.
Mm-mm. You got to do a
That song.
tester. You got to say something crazy like, man, I'm thinking about
You
doing
got to do a
something
test.
wildest thing ever. Right. Just think about the wildest thing ever. And if they be like, girl, yeah, you should do that, then you know, red flag, time to go. Time to go.
Yes, you are the baggage I need to release. Goodbye.
I like that. That's facts.
Yes, can't have no space for that. But dang, that song. See how that song you just like literally when you break it down to have you thinking. I be driving like, hold on, let me play it again. Cause I swear every time I listen to it, like I get something else from it. And there's another one. There's another one, but it's not by her. I don't know if you guys listen to Queen Naja.
Yeah,
I do.
Mm-hmm.
So she has a song, same beat, everything. It's called Pack Life, though. Have you ever heard that one?
I think I heard that the
the
other day,
lyrics.
but I would have to hear it again. Yeah.
Listen, I'm just we ain't gonna break this down. I want y'all to look that up. But I'm gonna just read y'all the first verse of that song.
Okay.
Sister girl says, "See, I don't got time or the patience to deal with your shit today. You've been walking around with a stink attitude like your shit don't stink.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't give you
Yeah,
no
I
trouble
definitely heard
on
that
most
one.
days. I don't give you no trouble on most days, but I will today. I've been holding my tongue, got the right to be in my feels today." When I tell you, that's another song I be having on repeat. And it's the same, she used that Bag Lady instrumental for this song.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Girl, one of my faves. All right, y'all. So for anybody that's listening right now that is in the midst of like trying to release some baggage in their life, and they're having a hard time letting go some shedding skin, letting go of the dead weight, what is some advice that y'all can offer to someone that's listening?
Nikki, you should go first. It's your expertise. Let me think. You should go.
I just feel like it's a process. Like it's not gonna happen overnight. For most people, it takes time to realize that you're carrying all this baggage. And once you realize it and you can recognize it, it gets a little easier to release it. So you got to recognize it first and foremost before you can do anything about it.
I can agree with that. I feel like you have to get comfortable with yourself and commit to offloading some of these bags. Like maybe try one bag, take out a shirt or something.
Take a little weight out.
Take a little bit like this, then take some pants off. But not for real, like just take your time, but definitely get to know yourself, because when you take time with yourself and start to respect and love yourself, then you'll find it easier to let all those bags just go. So you definitely have to invest in you as much as you invest in these other bags that you didn't picked up. You need to invest that energy into you. Start releasing the bags. Drop them off, honey.
Yes, drop some things off. And I agree with everything that y'all said. And something you just said, you said the bags that we decided to pick up. I think it's also important to also acknowledge that a lot of the baggage that we have, we didn't choose to pick it up. Sometimes things, unfortunately, are placed on people. Maybe a person had like bigger responsibilities, and now because of those responsibilities, they carry the weight of the family. You know what I'm saying? Or something. But either way, in releasing it, you know, I think it's important to take it a day at a time. Like it's not a race.
It's not.
It's not a race. Take it a day at a time and really sit and be with your feelings and the situation that's going on and try. And I say try, and I use that word very lightly because I know a lot of times when you have a lot of things going on in your head, if your mind is anything like mine, you have a lot going on in your head. Sometimes you thinking about a million different things, especially the encounter and everything that's going on. You can't think of how to move forward. And like I said, acknowledge the fact of all those feelings you have and everything that's going on. I call it the sit in your shit moments. It's okay to sit in it, but within sitting in that, you acknowledge it. You acknowledge how it makes your body feel, and you. For some people, you'll be like, you know what? I deserve better than this. Like, this wasn't my fault. I may have played a role in the situation, or it may have been my time to go, whatever the case may be. And each day, try to build yourself up a little more with something positive that's going to help continue to push you forward. You know, it's easy to sit and think about all the bad stuff because that's the feeling and the reality that we're facing at that time. And it's so much difficult to think about opposite of what we're losing or what we feel like we're losing, because girl, the nigga ain't shit. It's like
right.
Thanks.
But in reality, like you're worth so much better than that. Like, your life is so much more precious than that. Like, it's this glow up season for us all, you know, whether you are someone that's like just got out of a relationship or whatever the case. It don't even have to be a relationship, lost your job, whatever the case is. It's a glow up season. And like Erykah said, all you need is you at the end of the day.
Yep.
That's facts. All you need is the whole you that you love. And that's pretty, I feel like once you get that self-love down, everything else falls into place. Even if you think you love yourself, like you can't love yourself if you depriving yourself of stuff because of what happened. So you take that time out for yourself and just work on you, whatever that may look like. And it's gonna be scary because anything new is scary. It's called being uncomfortable. That's when the greatness happens.
Yeah.
Then how much pressure do you have to put on a diamond to make a diamond? Like, come on now, let's be real. Just be real with yourself, like you just said. Keep it real and just do the work, and the benefit at the other end, it's gonna be amazing because you'll never find yourself back in that place.
Yeah, because you're having way much more, like, you'll know your worth way much more better, and like you'll be like, bitch, I done glowed up. I don't need you, her, him, whomever. Like, you know,
right.
And you, because you're such in a higher predicament, you'll start to really attract in the things that you deserve, the people that deserve to be in your space. And when someone comes in and they hide in that red flag, because we know how people move sometimes, they will show us what we want to see, and then they get comfortable, and it's like, oh no, bitch, this is really me. Like, sorry, I don't need that,
is like, this person?
What I signed up for? You know, you'll be able to acknowledge those things easier. So yeah, just stick to it. And I always say it, keep going.
Yeah, you got this.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yes, but I appreciate you ladies so much for this conversation. I think this was a good dialogue. You know, thank you, Miss Erykah, for this lovely song that's been around for like years, you know, that started this whole conversation off. Can you ladies please tell everyone where they can find your podcast, social medias, and about your podcasting group?
All right, but first of all, thank you so much for having us on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We love kicking it with you. This is an awesome platform. I love your show. I love what you're doing. Like, I even be doing some of the tips that you give out for real, because I'm still on that self-help journey. So I appreciate it, real talk. But if you want to find us, you can go to kickinitwithyourgirls.com, because I always miss something whenever I name our pages. But
everywhere.
Our show is just, you know, me and Nikki, and we just kick it about whatever it is that comes to mind on that specific recording day. And head over to kickinitwithyourgirls.com or Kickin' It With Your Girls Podcast on Instagram or Facebook.
Okay, and the Facebook group, Podcasting for the Culture.
Oh yeah, for sure. You could join that whether you are a podcaster or not, because we wanted to create a community where you can find podcasters, because we had a hard time finding Black podcasters. Now we got them in all one space for you. So come on through. It's so much great talent, so many great people. That's how we met Shakita, which has been dope. So, I mean, come on in there and check these podcasts out, especially if you're listening for something relatable to you, because we're all Black.
Hey. Yes. So I will have all of their podcast and group information in the show notes and in the description, so you guys can go tap in with them and join that group. Yes, I am in that group. I've been in there since they started.
Yes,
And what
you
I
have.
can say,
Thank
anyone
you.
listening that's a podcaster and that's in other groups, specifically on Facebook, you won't get scammed in this one, okay?
Not
There
at
ain't no
all.
bots. Yes, there are no bots in this one. Like they do a very good job of running the group. Honestly, most of the collaborations and networking and friendships that I have built this last year has come out of that group. So thank you, ladies, for that.
That is great. That is why it was created. So
That's
that
the
is great to
purpose.
hear. Yeah.
We wanted people to be able to find Black podcasters, as I said, or I mean, yeah, for sure. And then we also wanted other podcasters to meet other podcasters so we can learn how to all work and come together. And it's so many
Grow
great
each other. Yeah.
collaborations. Yeah, so many great collaborations. So thank y'all
Yeah,
for
you
being
can
a
find
part
a
of it.
little bit of, literally a little bit of everything in that.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yep.
And it's always good because like maybe this is March. Yeah, a couple of months ago, I had posted an episode I had did, and I literally like met someone in that group that has been a phenomenal friend. Like she's an amazing person. Shout out to you if you're listening, girl. She knows who she is. She one of them like people that be watching. I'm like, how long have you been in this group? Because I've never seen, you never know who's in there, right?
Right, right.
But one thing that I will say is everyone has been so friendly. And it always starts with the leadership. So you guys are definitely setting the tone for that group. Hopefully, I know I've seen people talk about it and post about it in different spaces. Hopefully we all can, maybe get together this summer somewhere, since we're literally all spread out around the world.
We are, and
Yeah.
that's the
We are
hardest
working
part.
on it. So
Yeah, we trying to gauge and see how we can do at least a meet and greet to those who can come through and see who you've been having on your show in person, and all meet. We trying to work on it. I don't want to give away too much, but we are working on it.
yeah.
So go on Facebook, y'all, and join Podcasting for the Culture. Like I said, I will have all of their links below. So y'all can go check out the group, check out their podcast, tap in with them. They talk about literally everything. And if you're a person that likes to watch different Netflix series and stuff, I promise you will love their reviews, because I can't think of that one movie series I watched. I was like, nope, can't watch that. But they talk about a little bit of everything, and it's very entertaining, and it's just fun. They bring the laughter and joy on a bright Monday morning that you really need, because their episodes get released every Monday. Okay, so again, go tap in with them. And again, I appreciate you ladies so much. Keep thriving, keep shining, keep doing amazing things. Anytime you guys want to chat again, we can, get some things going. It was definitely a pleasure. This
Thank
time
you.
around again.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
I am sure you will be on our show again this year a few times. So I'm so
Hey.
excited. This is a relationship that came out to be great. So that's what's up.
Yes. I look forward to it. And thank you all for tapping in with me again for another lovely episode. All of my social media information will be in the description box below, so you guys can continue to check in and tap in with me on social media. Sometimes I might be ghost, like I said, right now I'm on a little hiatus, but it's okay. Your girl's always around, and otherwise, you guys take it easy, be safe, take care of yourselves and each other's. Peace out.